Welcome to the video, everybody. What I'm going to be showing you today is how to go into the 3D warehouse in SketchUp. Just take some apartment model with everything like chairs, dining room tables like that. Bring it into Blender, and then how to set up a panorama that is ray traced inside of Blender. If you're not a SketchUp user, that's fine. There'll still be a lot of information about how to set up panoramas in Blender, so I hope you enjoyed the video. All right, so this is just a model that I put out the 3D warehouse. I really wish that I knew where this came from, but I tried to find it in 3D warehouse again, and I couldn't. I had downloaded this a while back to do for this tutorial. So hopefully I'll be able to find a link to give credit for who made the model, but unfortunately I can't find it at the moment. But so there was a couple things I just need to do to kind of clean this model up so that it's ready to bring into Blender. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on all of these glass materials, and I just want to make sure that it's the same. So if we click on this, is that even? Actually, maybe there's not even a face there. Okay, so that's definitely something that I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. Oh, no, okay, so there is. Yeah, this basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab all of this. I'm going to group this. And then I'm going to explode it. And then I'm going to come over here. And I'm just going to call this interior glass. Whatever. Yeah, I was gonna make it stand out a little bit more, but that's fine for this. So yeah, we'll save it, and then I will also come over here, grab this. We just gotta select the faces. Hey, this part's a little bit annoying, but it will save us time once we get into Blender. This is so weird looking at this. I think I have all of them though. So then I'm going to come in here. And if it's not, then we'll just be able to fix it inside of Blender. This is just to save a little bit of time. And then I also want to make sure that the windows are the same as well. Yeah, this model is a kind of a slow one, but I did think it was pretty cool because you get like the windows, the curtains and everything. Just selecting everything. Yep. Okay, so there we go. We'll just go to the other side. I don't know if this one has glass or not. No, it doesn't look like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to let's go like this. I'll put the glass on it. Then I'm going to make a group. I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to drag it out slightly. You want to give the glass a little bit of thickness. I haven't tested this too much, but I have got some weird results when you don't have thickness in glass. It's like things might look okay when it's head on, but it has like this weird reflection thing when you start looking at it from the side. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but just something to keep in mind. I think that, yeah, besides these ones here, I think I changed all the glass. Just go like that. Let's just eyedropper this to make sure. Translucent glass. Okay, well, like I said, we can fix that. I think that's good there. And then, so the other thing I have to do is I'm going to turn the roof back on, and then I'm going to fix the metal. So let's go to View, Unhide, Last. Right. Now, we could technically change this in Blender, but the problem is that unless you make a whole new material, this, like all these kind of like blocks in the texture will show up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into this, click right there. And then we're just going to put a new metal on it just to make sure it's not sharing it with anything. I'm going to call this lamp and wall. Make it a little bit gray. And then, yep, so that looks like that's all good. I'll save that. And then I'm also going to change the walls. So right here, 1 and 2. And you can make this whatever you want. I just kind of wanted to do this quickly. Maybe I will change this this metal here too. So many groups in here. Right. So yeah, I think that's good to go. The other thing is I'm just going to get rid of this cat because I know that when I did a test with this before, that kind of messed things up. Oh, and there is, I need to change the lights here. So I don't like how these, don't like how these lights are acting. So I think that if you go up here and look at them, it just goes right to the outside. Yeah, so let's see if these are components. No, they're not. Okay. So I think if I just go like this, though. And yeah, that should be good enough. I wonder if I could just delete all of them and make them like just a component so they're all the same. Might save a bit of time. So I'll make that emissive. Right. Yeah, let me just see if this works. Okay, it does. So I'll just do that quickly. Just because I do want these lights to be in there. And it's just like you could, as I said, do all this in Blender. I'm just trying to do as much in SketchUp as possible, just so you can kind of see the workflow of how you would clean this up if you wanted to do it. So, we'll go like this. I think that's good. So I'm just hitting times. Okay, yeah, so you can see that there's like a little bit of, it's like a little bit off there, but if I just grab this and keep going, because you don't want the white poking out the side like that. So like there, 3, yeah. It's yeah, like it's a little bit annoying to do this, but this is the best way of setting it up, and it still is really quick. Because like you had to do this kind of like one way or the other. So this way, it's just that you get to do it in SketchUp instead of Blender. But either way is fine. And then I think there's some more lights. Is that it? Okay, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to change these right here to emissive. And then if I look around, that should be it. Maybe we'll change this as well, actually. Just the light bulb, and then then we're good to go to Blender. So just make sure Blender's open. It is. There we go. Perfect. So we'll just save that, and then we are good to go. Save it just one last time. All right, yeah, that's good because that's I find SketchUp can be really slow with some of those models sometimes, just not as responsive as I want. So I'm going to come into Blender, delete the default cube. I'm going to use the SketchUp importer. Find where I saved this actually, because I think I put it in right here. This will just take a second. There it is. Okay, so this is how it comes in. Now, there are a couple things that I kind of want to point out. So these actually didn't change again, so I'm not sure what's up with that. But this, oh wait, did it? Oh no, it is. Okay, so interior glass, that's what we want. what I'm going to do too is I'm just going to click these two. I'm going to hit join, and then I'm going to click translucent glass minus. I'm going to click these two again, right click join, translucent gray. And actually something I'm going to do, let me just turn these on. There we go. Let me just move this off to the side here. Yeah, so this all my commands will be down here. And yeah, so what I need to do first is I need to just kind of go through and change some of these. Like these chairs are coming in really weird because they're set to shade smooth. So while it's not perfect, we're going to click it and then right click, and we're going to go to shade flat. And yeah, it's, as I said, it's not perfect, but it looks better like this. And then what I need to do is I'm just going to save the file. I'll just save it to my desktop or something. Call it Panorama. And then I'm going to click on the glass here. So we're going to go to interior glass. I'm going to go up to shading. And now this part, this might seem really weird, but like don't worry too much about it. Just because the like you don't really need to understand why you do this. It's like the best way to make glass. So what you want to do is go in here, delete the principled node, hit Shift A, search, light path, and then you want to do Shift A math, Shift A mix shader, and make sure you click on the search bar. And then you also want to do Shift A glass and Shift A transparent. So you're going to take shadow ray, plug it here, diffuse ray, plug it here, value into the factor of the mix shader, and then the glass goes in here and the transparent goes in here. And you got to make sure that this shader is connected to the material output. So if you hold Z and go into material preview, it should look something like this. Now what this effectively does is that when you render it, it's going to let light pass through it, almost like there's nothing there, but then you're going to get the reflection on it like there's glass, and that just helps reduce noise and makes it look better. And so for this kind of thing, you can just click on these materials, go down. We're just going to turn the roughness down so that there's some reflection on it. So if we kind of zoom in on this, if I just click on it and then go to color, so we'll call this like vases or something. But you can see like the roughness goes up, and it's actually changing the wall as well. But yeah, so we can just put the roughness like there. We'll click on the TV, go down here, and there is, so this is the TV picture. We're going to go back into the shading mode. If you can't find it, just hit period, because you should have it clicked on. Just helps you navigate. So yeah, this is the TV picture node setup. So what I want though is I want this to be emissive, but I want it to be emissive in the colors on the screen like you would normally see. So what I'm going to do is this goes into the emission node. And then as you can see right away, it starts to light up. But you can actually take the emission strength and go up slightly. Now, the thing is that the brighter you go, you're going to start to lose the color. So I find that it's good to have even something at like 2, maybe do 2.5, just so it's fairly bright. But that just helps kind of make it look more alive. And then you could probably just leave those leaves. If we go to, we'll just call this curtains. So these ones are mostly good, but we're going to take the alpha and we're just going to set it, do it like 0.8 because we want them to be see-through. And then that should work pretty well. So the glass is changed. Oh, we need to make the ceiling emissive. So we're going to click. I'll go back into layout mode actually. So we're going to click here where it says emissive. We're going to take the emission color and just crank it up. And as you can see, it kind of starts to change like that. Then if we go up with the emission strength, it may not look like much is happening, but this will look a lot better in rendered mode. And then this material here. So this is the metal. And I think if we grab the wall, lamp and wall. Yeah, so this is the one that we want here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it metallic. And then right away, you can start to see that difference. And then we're just going to pull the roughness down to like there. Because I want it to be metallic, but I don't want it to be like a mirror. Like if you take it and go like that, then that's basically a mirror. Like you can see the reflection. I think that's just the default HDRI. But yeah, you can see that we don't want that. So we want it like this, where it's like, you know, you kind of get some reflections, but it's not a mirror. And then I think what we're going to do too is we're going to make this less rough. So we want this to be shinier. So we're going to pull this down. Maybe we can take these, make it metallic. And, you know, it's just like these little things that, like, it's not a big deal, but it's just going to make them look, you know, a little bit better. And maybe we'll grab these legs too. And as you can see with the roughness, if I turn this down, all the legs are changing, and even the table. So as long as you kind of set the materials up, and you kind of have a plan going into this, you can just change everything quickly. And I like to normally just bring the roughness down because the SketchUp, everything comes in very rough with the SketchUp materials. So yeah, the other thing I'm going to do too is I'm going to look at this lamp, kind of aim my camera at it. I'm going to hold shift and right click so that my 3D cursor is on it. And then I'm going to go light. We're going to do an area light. So it's like this. We're going to take the size and we're going to lower it down a little bit. Maybe like there. And then we're going to go shape disk. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And then I'm also going to set this to like 5. And we're going to go into rendered mode soon and just make sure everything looks good. Then this one, I want it to be its own light, but I actually want the other ones to... Oh, actually, sorry, there's one more thing I have to do. So when you have this light clicked, go to visibility, turn off glossy and transmission. And that way, you're not going to get this huge white disc, but the light's still going to kind of affect everything normally. Right, so what you want to do then is shift right click up on these lights here. We're going to put another area light in, and we're going to make it a little bit smaller, but not as much. We're going to hit GZ to bring it down so that it's not in the wall. Make this a little bit smaller, something like that. We're going to go disk. I'm going to hold Alt D. And now these are all going to be linked. And actually, before I do that, there's something you should do. So even if they're linked with Alt D, it won't share the visibility. So I want to turn off glossy and transmission again. I'll save that. And now when I copy it, they'll all be the same. And if I change one of them, they're all going to change, which I'll demonstrate in a moment. And like that. And these ones I don't want to be too strong because they are just little lights. So maybe I'll make this like 2. And as you can see, if I change the size, they all change together. Now for these ones, I'm going to cheat a little bit because these lights won't really, like, these lights aren't going to have enough kind of juice to light up the whole room. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click here. I'm going to put in another area light. And the reason I'm not just copying these ones because I don't want them to be linked. I could hit Shift D, but just for the purpose of kind of showing how I make the lights, I wanted to do it a couple times. So these ones I'm going to leave at 10, and I'm going to make them bigger. And I'm just going to go like this. So I'm going to hit GZ, or sorry, GY, and then I'm going to hit Alt D here to copy them. And I think if I go like this and just kind of make it like that, it should be good. I'm going to click on both of them. So I'm going to shift click them. Alt D and then Y. I'm going to put one here. Alt D, Y. And I think that should be good enough. And maybe I'll just put one over here by the door. Oops, I didn't mean to grab both of them. Okay, yeah, so I think that should be okay. Let's just, let's turn the light on. We're also going to put an HDRI outside, but I just want to see how the light looks without it. So before you go into rendered mode, I should recommend that you save it. Just because, you know, you don't want it to like crash while it's rendering or anything like that. What is a huge advantage of using SketchUp to Blender is that the file sizes are extremely small. Like right now, it says it's only using 2 gigs of VRAM, which in reality, it's actually going to be a lot less than that. So if I hold Z and go up to rendered mode, so I actually ran into some problems where it wasn't loading right. I've been having some troubles with my computer lately. I think it's just because I have 2 GPUs. But basically, if you hold Z and go into rendered mode, you should be able to just kind of see how the lighting looks. And I think that looks pretty good. So I am actually just going to shift into material preview mode again. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an HDRI in the background. Or sorry, and then set up the camera. So there's 2 things we have to do. Now, the way I set up an HDRI is I just go to HDRI Haven. And you can really pull anyone that you want. Like you can just go to HDRIs up here. These are all free to use. So if you like wanted this one, this isn't the one I'm going to use, but if you wanted this, you just go click. You can just use like 1K for this. It doesn't really matter. It's just how clear the image is going to be in the background. So actually, maybe I will just download an 8K to show this. So yeah, you download it. It should only take a second. You hop back into Blender, go to the world properties, go to the color here, go to environment texture, open, go to your downloads, and find your HDRI here. You put it in, and then that should be good to go. Right, so the last thing we need to do is add in a camera. So I'm gonna pick where I want on the floor. And actually, there is just one thing I noticed too. So this isn't really a big deal, but as you can see, there actually are some watermarks on the floor. So we can fix this. Let's just go to Poliigon.com. We'll just get a free texture and we'll set that up quickly. So we'll go textures. Just give this a second here. And we'll go to free. What would be a good one to use? I think this one's pretty close. Is that the yeah, I think that'd be the best one. We could also use this one, but yeah, I think that will do. So we'll use this one. We'll download it, so get the 3K. Give that a second to load. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to go hit tab to go into edit mode. I'm going to click. I'm going to rename this because this is the material we're looking for, white marble. We know this because if I go to the base color here and remove it, everything changes. So I'll go to shading again. That's the principal node on this one. So we just want this. So we'll go to downloads. I just go into the zip file, cut it, and put it on the desktop. That typically works for me, no problem. So what I'm going to do is, there are faster ways of doing this, but I'm assuming everyone doesn't have Node Wrangler installed. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go find the textures. I am just going to, I guess I could just hold it right here. So I'll go like this, drag in the gloss, drag in the normal, take this one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set these up quickly. So color here, make the gloss and the normal non-color. This goes in the normal, this goes in the roughness. Hit Shift A, invert. So we need to inverse the gloss map. And then we also need to hit Shift A, normal map. Now we don't want the one that says normal, we want the normal map. Click that in between them. And then now you have the normal map applied. And if you think that this is maybe a little bit too reflective, you can just kind of drag this down a little bit, as you can see. So just kind of controls that a bit. I think that should be good there. You know, if you wanted to get a little more roughness on the floor, you could turn it up. So maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll just go like 2. Right, so that's all fixed up. We'll go back into layout. I'm going to shift right click on the floor where I want my camera to be. So I think that's pretty good. Maybe over here. Hit Shift A, camera. I'm also going to zoom out here and delete this old camera, because I just want this one to be exactly where it should be. Now, to make this kind of at eye level, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the camera. I'm going to go to location, 1.6M. So that's the same, it's typically used in Lumion. The rotation, the X is 90, the Y is 0, and the Z is 0. And I'm actually going to make this so this is 180, because I want it facing over there. It's not a huge deal, but yeah. And then I think maybe we'll just move this up a little bit. So we'll just maybe take it to 1.7. And yeah, I think that that is good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit 0 to go into my camera mode. Now, obviously, as I mentioned, I'm in CPU mode right now just because I was having some trouble with my GPU. GPU is a lot faster, and I'm going to be rendering in GPU. It's just the viewport that was weird. So if I hold Z and go up here, so it's going to update all this stuff. So as you can see, this is not the image that we want. We want an actual panorama. So make sure that you have the camera selected. So let me just click back onto it. So if I click here, CPU really is slow. Wow. So you want to click on like this outline of the camera here because it will actually select it. If you have trouble doing that, what you can also do, because this seems like it's not being very fast, so we'll go to camera. And yeah, you can see how slow this is. Like it just melts everything. So we're gonna click on the camera. We'll just go find it. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go, see, you want the camera icon in the object data properties. Change perspective to panoramic. And then as you can see, it looks like this. But that's not the kind of panorama we want. We want an equal rectangular. So you're gonna do the panorama type like this. And as you can see now, this is what we're gonna be rendering out. So this should give us all the effects that we want. And I think actually one thing I'm going to change might make these blinds a little bit more see-through. Something that is weird about this mode though is that even though we're seeing this, it's still like Blender isn't registering it kind of in this way. Like it's warping everything, but we're still looking directly at the TV. So that's something to keep in mind. So like if I hold Z and go into solid mode, as you can see, that's what we're actually back to. But the camera is set up, so that's good to go. And once I change the alpha on this, maybe make it 0.6, I want it to be a little more pronounced just so that we can see through it really easily. But yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to render it out. Oh, actually, wait, no. Change the resolution to like 8K if you like, or whatever you want it to be. So just in the side here, and then change the samples to like, actually, you know what? I think 128 should be good for that. And then, yeah, I'm going to render this out. And if you want to see what the final product looked like, there's going to be a link below in to Kula. And I'll also put the panorama up in the Google Drive. So hopefully you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit like and subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. And if you are, thank you very much for supporting the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.